Everybody. So today I decided to do sort of an experiment. There are quite a few stressors in our lives, obviously, and one way to become more calm is to draw symmetrical designs. I decided to do a circular symmetrical design for the first time and have you guys watch what I do. I went into my closet in the kitchen and I found this Pyrex top to one of my glass containers, which I thought I would use for the basic shape of my design, and I'm just going to center it here on my page. And I would suggest that you do this in pencil and then draw over it, but I'm going to use a marker because it'll be easier for you to see. So in addition to that, I found another top that I could turn upside down comfortably and center on my design that's a little bit smaller to make shapes that are smaller. And then I found this even smaller shape, round kind of a stopper that I had used in it was a salad dressing bottle. But I took them all because I thought that I liked their sizes one after the other and that I could use them for artwork. So I'm going to put this on the side now and start this and just see what happens. See how this works out. So I'm going to hold this down and then take my marker and go all the way around. I'm pushing around it. And I just can feel as I'm going along that I'm pushing. And let's see how that worked out. Not too bad. I could always fix that if there's a little edge that's not perfect. Then what I'm going to do to find the center of this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it. And I could see through this paper, which is great. Fold it one time, lining up the circle half and half, like that. And then I'm going to fold it again, lining up this rounded part of the circle here. So when I open it, you can see there's 4 sections. I think what I'd like to do is have more sections coming out from here. So I'm going to reclose this and I'm going to fold it one more time. And as I'm doing this, I know I'm doing it slowly because I'm thinking as I'm going along. And part of being an artist is to experiment and try new things. Now, if it turns out that I don't like all these folds after my drawing is finished, certainly I can make a copy of this and use it to color. But right now, I think this works out well, just to follow along. Now, the center, you could see right here where everything is meeting. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, 8 parts. Looks like a pizza. I'm going to take this little dot in the middle, and to the best of my ability, I'm going to just kind of look and sort of get that right on the center. To the best of my ability, look down, get that in the middle. If you want to be really perfect about this, you could definitely trace this and then line up a piece of paper and get it just so. But if you just want to do what I'm doing, that's fine as well. There you go. Okay, so now we have another circle. And this I could see through, which is great. So I can see right through the middle. And I have a top that's a little wider and then a bottom that's a little smaller. That's kind of nice. So I'm just looking to make sure the middle's in the middle. This looks about the same all around. And I'm going to trace that. Oh, that looks good. And if I like, I could also trace another circle right in here. Now, to me, it does look a little bit messy. So I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is draw some lines here and then use this as what's called an underlay. And an underlay means I'll put a piece of paper over this so I could see it and then do my design. Again, never did this before, so I'm sort of figuring it out as I go along. So you could do the same thing with whatever tops you find. I think this is going to be a lot of fun once it gets started. In fact, this underlay, as I'm calling it, could be used for all kinds of designs. So I think that's going to work out really well. Alright, so I'm going to get another piece of paper. And I think I'm going to tape this piece of paper onto this one. So that way I could see the design, but it's not going to move. They'll stay together. You can see it too. Maybe what I should do, see if this moves down, if you'll see it better. There. Yeah, I think you can see it even better that way. Oh yes, that looks really good. Alright, so just take a couple of pieces of tape. Make sure this is on good. And then I'm going to just start to draw and be relaxed. And use this as a relaxation technique. And that's what you'll do. Now you could do this along with me now. And then you could try a new one on your own with that underlay. I think this is going to work out really well. Alright, so I'm going to start with the middle. And I'm just going to make a little circle right in the middle. And then just as I want, I'm going to just kind of make a design for fun. It looks like sort of a star design where I'm doing some curve shapes all around, holding on to a circular design. Then I'm going to make two lines, but I'll do it like a V shape. And keep repeating it. So wherever I see those lines coming out, making a V. I think it looks pretty already, don't you? And then this I'm going to round out. This is actually going to become a coloring page, which is nice because when you do something like that, it can be colored over and over different ways. Now what I'm doing is I'm just adding lines here in the middle. So I feel like that was too empty. And then I'm going to continue using what I have underneath here. So what I see, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 lines here, all along where the lines are coming out. And do the same thing all the way around. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Do the best you can. But now I'm going to make a curved line. And I bet it's going to look almost like a flower. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I bet you do too. Oh, look at that. That is very pretty. Okay. Now I have to think, what else would I like to do? What do I think might look nice? Well, the way this looks kind of like a mushroom shape, I feel like maybe this should have a line going across this way. It's just sort of asking for it. So if you feel like something is missing or it needs it, just do it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is do some floral kind of shapes, some leaf shapes. So I'm going to do the same thing in the center of every one. I have a pointed leaf shape. And this symmetrical design, doing the same thing over and over, is making me feel quite relaxed. I hope you feel like that too. And I'm going to take that now, and I'm going to make it look almost like a flame. Ooh. So I'm going to go around and then up and touch that line that's over here and go back down. So I'm going around, touch that line, go up and around. That's pretty. Actually, I just realized if you want to turn it and you feel like it's more comfortable to do that, as you're drawing, you can go out and around and come up. You might like to do that too. Out and around and come up. How pretty that's coming out. It's so unusual. Now, when you watch this video, if you need to slow it down, you could stop it or you could put it to a different speed. If you go to the settings, you could actually do that. You can change that. All right, now I'm going to put a circle right in here, and then a smaller one and a smaller one. Same thing here. Circle, bigger, smaller, smaller. Bigger, smaller, smaller. Bigger, smaller, smaller. Bigger, smaller, smaller. Now notice the pen that I'm using is a fine tip. This is not the thicker ones that we use quite frequently, and you need it to be fine so you can fit this. Bigger and then a little smaller and a little bit smaller. All right, now I'm going to double this line. I feel like it needs that. So I'm just going to go around, make it double. Do the same thing. So it's easier. Okay. Now I'm going to do something even different than that. I'm going to put right in between here a straight line coming up and out. We're turning it around. Notice I'm following along the lines that I have. And I'm going to continue making another design from that. So I think I'm going to go back to what I had here, which was kind of pretty. And that was sort of a mushroom shape. So I'm going to go around and around, make a curved line, following those circles. Turning it is definitely helping it at this point. Let's go by eye. Oh, what pretty. Curve. Looks like a big flower. And again. And the mushroom kind of a shape I'm going to do right now. Do it right here. Up and around and back down. Do it here. Up and around. And back down. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually starting it a little bit to the side there, but then touching each other. You see that? So I'm leaving that little space and then bringing it around, but making sure that I bring it back in before this line. Do it again. Bring around and bring it in. Touch. Around. Bring it in. Turn because they make it easier. Touch. Around. Bring it in. Touch. Bring it around. And this has to touch. Looks like I might have goofed a little bit there, but that's okay because I could always white it out. Alright, now I see places that look very empty, so I think I'd like to fill those in with something pretty. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to make a curl kind of a shape. Just curl it around, curl it around, curl it around. And you're just kind of making up your own ideas as you go along. What you think will look pretty, what you think will work out for coloring also. So right now, for example, that probably wouldn't color in very well. And what I'm going to have to do is figure out a way that it will color in well. And I'll show you by making double lines, I could have that happen. So to make it color in well, and again, I'm new at this, I'm just going to make this into a double line and bring it down to here. Try something different. Make a double line and then bring it to there. Double line, bring it to there. And you just, on your own, figure out how you will solve that problem. And double line. So now you see how that is something you could color in. An adult coloring page is getting very popular because They are just a really great stress reliever. And we're actually going to do some coloring on this where we're going to do shading. We're going to do some gradients and make something really beautiful. And if you want to put some white out and fix it up a little bit, and then make a copy of it, you definitely get it to look even better than it does now. Pretty. All right, now I'm going to try something different up in this area. I'm going to make a pattern. Straight, and then make some lines that swing around. Let me see, we should have one more there. Okay. That actually looks three-dimensional. That's pretty cool. Maybe what I should do to make sure that it's symmetrical is start in the middle and then work my way out. Now, you don't have to do yours exactly like mine. You could do it your own way. I'm just sort of relaxing, and as I go along, I'm adding more and more. I'm going to turn it to make it easier to hold. Make it easier to reach. Okay, this takes quite a bit of time. Turn, straight line down, curve it, curve, 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 same thing. And I know this isn't perfectly symmetrical because I didn't use any kind of guide, and I'm just doing this by eye. I'm not measuring it, but I think it's more relaxing that way. So if your purpose is to be relaxed and to just have fun, I think this is the best way to do it. Alright, so once you've done that, then take a look at it and you decide, does it look finished to you? Is there something you might want to add that would make it even nicer? Well, I'm thinking about that. I kind of feel like these lines here need to have some sort of a repeat of that somewhere. But I don't know how to do that. I'm not really sure. Maybe, what if I did something over here? It sort of just brings it together. That's a trick that artists use to make it so something doesn't look out of place. You just repeat that design. It also filled in that area nicely. I'm also going to do something right here. I'm going to put a circle. And just as I'm going along, it's taking shape. I didn't plan it. All I did was do the understructure, putting those lines in with the container pieces, and that's it. Now I'm deciding if there's anything that I should color in black. Well, maybe I'll make this a little darker right here so it looks a little bit more like a star in the middle. That could be pretty. Carefully. Yeah, I kind of like that. So of course you could just keep adding and adding. You could have a really fun time with this. I'll put a couple of dots over here. And I think I'm pretty much finished at this point. I'm just going to finish this. And I will consider this done. I hope you had fun doing it. I know I did. And I hope you feel even more relaxed than you did when you started. So there it is. That's a repeat circular design for relaxation.